Take the time to train your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. But if you don't learn how to use it, how to discipline it, focus it, and strengthen it, that same mind will work against you. It'll become a battlefield of doubt, fear, distraction, and self-sabotage. Most people spend time training their bodies, their skills, their resumes, but they never take time to train their mind. They feed their fears more than they feed their future. They rehearse pain more than they rehearse power. They become prisoners of their past instead of architects of their destiny. But not you. You're here because you know something deeper, that the greatest battles are not fought outside, they're fought within. You've got dreams, you've got vision, but your mind must be ready to carry the weight of that vision, because every great accomplishment starts with a thought, a decision, a belief. So if you don't control what goes in your mind, someone else will. If you don't choose what to believe, the world will hand you its fears, its limits, and its excuses. You've got to become the gatekeeper of your own thinking. You've got to talk to yourself more than you listen to yourself. When your mind says, "You can't," you speak back, "Watch me." When it whispers, "You're not enough," you declare, "I'm more than enough." Training your mind doesn't mean you'll never struggle again. It means you'll be ready for the struggle. You'll face life's storms with a calm spirit and a focused plan. You see, your mind is like a muscle, and if you don't challenge it, it won't grow. You've got to push it, feed it, stretch it, give it better conversations, stronger affirmations, higher standards, and watch how your entire life begins to transform. Because once the mind is trained, nothing can hold you back. Not fear, not failure, not opinions, not your past. So I challenge you, take the time, make the commitment, do the work, because when you train your mind, you free your future. Your mind is your greatest asset. Protect and train it daily. Let me tell you something that could change everything in your life. Your mind is your greatest asset. Not your bank account, not your job title, not your social media followers. It's your mind. That's where the real game is being played. You can have talent, you can have skill, you can have opportunity knocking at your door. But if your mind isn't prepared, if your thoughts are poisoned with doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll sabotage everything before it even begins. Your mind is like a garden, and every day something is being planted. The question is, are you planting weeds, or are you planting greatness? If you don't protect your mind, life will do it for you. The news, the opinions, the negativity, the distractions, they'll crowd your thinking until you can't even recognize your own voice anymore. You've got to take back control. You've got to stand at the gate of your thoughts like a warrior and say, "Not everything gets access to my mind." People spend hours working on their bodies, polishing their cars, upgrading their homes, but neglect the one thing that runs all of it, their thinking. They scroll more than they study. They gossip more than they grow. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. It's not because they lack ability, it's because they haven't trained their mindset. Every successful person you admire didn't just get lucky. Somewhere along the line, they learned the truth. Master your mind, or your mind will master you. And this is not a one-time thing. It's not, "Oh, I read one book and now I'm sharp." No, this is daily work, consistent practice, relentless discipline, like going to the mental gym and putting in reps. You wake up and choose your focus. You choose what thoughts you entertain. You choose what voices get volume. You've got to start feeding your mind better fuel. That means personal growth. That means powerful conversation. That means cutting off anything that poisons your peace. Because listen junk in, junk out. If all you feed your mind is drama, distraction, and doubt, don't be surprised when your life reflects chaos. But when you feed your mind wisdom, when you start consuming content that lifts you, challenges you, strengthens you, everything begins to shift. Your energy changes, your language changes, your results change. Why? Because your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. You want different results. Start with different thinking, and don't think you have to be perfect. You're not always going to feel strong. That's okay, but even on the days you feel weak, show up for your mind. Even when life is hard, protect your thoughts. You don't train so that you never face battles. You train so you're ready when they come. And battles will come. Life will test you. Life will punch you in the face and see if you get back up. But a trained mind doesn't fold. A trained mind doesn't panic. A trained mind stays rooted. So, what does training your mind look like? It means turning your morning into a ritual, not a rush. It means speaking affirmations that align with your future, not your fears. It means reading books that feed your strength, not your stress. It means writing down your goals so clearly that doubt doesn't even stand a chance. It means asking, is this thought helping me or hurting me? And if it's hurting, you let it go. Listen, you're too valuable to walk around with a mind full of trash. You're too powerful to let negative thinking keep you paralyzed. You were born to lead, to inspire, to create, but none of that can happen unless your mindset matches your mission. This is your moment to reset, to rewire, to renew your mind. Because once your mind is trained, the world better make room you're coming, and nothing will stop you. Your mind is your greatest asset. Protect and train it daily. Self. Ak is your internal programming. Speak life approx. 700 words. Let me ask you something. What kind of conversations are you having with yourself when no one's watching? Because those private conversations, they're programming your entire life. You could have all the talent in the world. You could be sitting on $1 million idea. You could have opportunities right in front of your face. But if your self-talk is toxic, negative, or small, you will sabotage everything before it ever takes off. Your self-talk is not just harmless chatter. It's instruction. It's mental coding. You are literally telling your mind how to function, how to show up, and what you believe is possible with every word you speak. So here's the truth. If you want to change your life, you've got to change the way you talk to yourself. You can't call yourself broke, weak, dumb, or unlucky and expect to live strong, abundant, powerful, and favored. It doesn't work like that. Words are not just sounds, they're seeds. When you speak doubt over your dream, you are planting fear. When you call yourself a failure, you're watering shame. But when you speak life, when you speak vision, when you speak possibility, you're building an internal atmosphere for success. And let me be clear, speaking life is not about lying to yourself. It's about reminding yourself of the truth when life tries to bury it. Because life will try to bury you, you'll face setbacks, you'll make mistakes. People will walk away. The dream will take longer than you expected. And if you're not intentional, you'll start echoing the pain instead of the power. You'll start saying things like, I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. Nothing ever works out for me. And every time you say it, your mind believes you more. That becomes your pattern. That pattern becomes your identity. That identity becomes your reality. But you have the power to break that cycle. Start by catching yourself in the act. Pay attention. Become aware of the language you use when you're under pressure, when you're disappointed, when things don't go your way. That's where the real training starts. When you hear that old voice say, "I can't," interrupt it with, "Yes, I can." When it says, "I always mess this up," replace it with, "I'm getting better every day." When it whispers, "You're not worthy," shout back, "I was born with purpose." You have to speak the language of the life you want even when you don't feel like it yet. Because what you speak, you start to believe. What you believe, you begin to act on, and what you act on becomes your future. Now some people will say, "But that's just positive thinking." Let me tell you something, your future doesn't need your sarcasm, it needs your strategy. Speaking life is not wishful thinking, it's deliberate reprogramming. It's refusing to let the world narrate your worth. It's standing in the mirror and declaring, "I will rise, I will grow, I will win." And here's the key, you have to speak life when it's hardest, when you've been rejected, when you're tired, when the doors keep closing, when nothing is going according to plan. That's the moment yourself matters most. That's the moment your training shows up. Your voice is either building you or breaking you. It's either lifting you up or tearing you down. And the most dangerous voice is not someone else's opinion, it's your own repeated doubts. So from this moment forward, make a decision. You will speak life. You will call yourself powerful. You will declare your purpose. You will rehearse your future, not your fears. You will build yourself up with every word, because greatness doesn't start in your bank account or on a stage or with some big break. It starts with what you whisper to yourself when nobody's around. Train your inner voice to tell the truth, not the truth of your past, the truth of your potential. And watch what happens when your words begin to work for you, not against you. Let me tell you something that could change everything in your life. Your mind is your greatest asset, not your bank account, not your job title, not your social media followers. It's your mind. That's where the real game is being played. You can have talent, you can have skill, you can have opportunity knocking at your door, but if your mind isn't prepared, if your thoughts are poisoned with doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll sabotage everything before it even begins. Your mind is like a garden, and every day something is being planted. The question is, are you planting weeds or are you planting greatness? If you don't protect your mind, life will do it for you. The news, the opinions, the negativity, the distractions, they'll crowd your thinking until you can't even recognize your own voice anymore. You've got to take back control. You've got to stand at the gate of your thoughts like a warrior and say, "Not everything gets access to my mind." People spend hours working on their bodies, polishing their cars, upgrading their homes, but neglect the one thing that runs all of it, their thinking. They scroll more than they study. They gossip more than they grow. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. It's not because they lack ability, it's because they haven't trained their mindset. Every successful person you admire didn't just get lucky. Somewhere along the line they learned the truth. Master your mind or your mind will master you. And this is not a one-time thing. It's not, "Oh, I read one book and now I'm sharp." No, this is daily work, consistent practice, relentless discipline, like going to the mental gym and putting in reps. You wake up and choose your focus. You choose what thoughts you entertain. You choose what voices get volume. You've got to start feeding your mind better fuel. That means personal growth. That means powerful conversations. That means cutting off anything that poisons your peace, because listen, junk in, junk out. If all you feed your mind is drama, distraction, and doubt, don't be surprised when your life reflects chaos. But when you feed your mind wisdom, when you start consuming content that lifts you, challenges you, strengthens you, everything begins to shift. Your energy changes, your language changes, your results change. Why? Because your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. You want different results. Start with different thinking. And don't think you have to be perfect. You're not always going to feel strong. That's okay, but even on the days you feel weak, show up for your mind. Even when life is hard, protect your thoughts. You don't train so that you never face battles. You train so you're ready when they come. And battles will come. Life will test you. Life will punch you in the face and see if you get back up. But a trained mind doesn't fold. A trained mind doesn't panic. A trained mind stays rooted. So, what does training your mind look like? It means turning your morning into a ritual, not a rush. It means speaking affirmations that align with your future, not your fears. It means reading books that feed your strength, not your stress. It means writing down your goals so clearly that doubt doesn't even stand a chance. It means asking, is this thought helping me or hurting me? And if it's hurting, you let it go. Listen, you're too valuable to walk around with a mind full of trash. You're too powerful to let negative thinking keep you paralyzed. You were born to lead, to inspire, to create, but none of that can happen unless your mindset matches your mission. This is your moment to reset, to rewire, to renew your mind, because once your mind is trained, the world better make room. You're coming, and nothing will stop you. An undisciplined mind will become your enemy. There's a war going on, and it's not out there in the streets, it's not in politics, and it's not in your paycheck. The war is in your mind. And if you don't take control, if you don't train your thinking, if you don't discipline that voice inside of you, that mind of yours will not be your friend. It'll be your enemy, and not just any enemy, the most dangerous one you'll ever face. Let me break it down for you. An undisciplined mind is like an untrained beast. It's unpredictable. It's wild. It will take you places you don't want to go, and it will trap you in prisons you built with your own thoughts. See, your mind is always talking, always thinking, always analyzing, spinning, processing, but the question is, who's in control of the conversation? If you don't lead your mind will lead you, and usually it'll lead you backward. You ever notice how your mind can make a small problem feel like the end of the world? How one rejection can turn into, I'll never be good enough? How one delay becomes, I guess it'll never happen for me. That's an undisciplined mind at work, turning inconvenience into identity. And if you don't catch it early, that thinking becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes a belief. And that belief becomes your life. Let's be real. Your mind can convince you to quit on your dream before you've even started. It'll come up with 100 reasons why it won't work, why you're not ready, why you should wait. And if your mind is undisciplined, you'll listen, and worse, you'll believe it. But here's what you've got to understand. That voice in your head is not always telling the truth. Sometimes it's just echoing fear, echoing your past, echoing the doubt that other people planted in you. That's why discipline is everything. You don't win by hoping for better thoughts, you win by commanding them. You've got to start managing your mental energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When your thoughts spiral out of control, you don't let them run wild, you interrupt them. You talk back. You say, no, that's not who I am. That's not what I believe. That's not where I'm going. You reset. You reframe. You reprogram. Training your mind is about discipline. It's about telling yourself what to think instead of letting the past, fear, or comparison do the talking for you. And hear me, you don't get there overnight. This is a process, a journey. Discipline doesn't show up fully formed, it's built. One thought at a time, one decision at a time, one moment of self-awareness at a time. Every time you resist the urge to spiral into negativity, you're training your mind. Every time you choose gratitude instead of grumbling, you're training your mind. Every time you focus on the solution, not the setback, you're training your mind, and that training adds up. Over time, your thoughts get sharper, your focus gets stronger, your inner voice gets louder and bolder. You start to walk different, talk different, think different, and life responds. But if you let your mind go undisciplined, it will become your downfall. It will lie to you. It will rob you. It will bury your gift while you're still breathing. So you've got to be vigilant. You've got to be intentional. You've got to decide every single day, I run my mind. My mind doesn't run me, because when your mind becomes your ally, your possibilities become endless. But when it's your enemy, even your blessings will feel like burdens. Don't let the strongest part of you go untrained. Don't let the most powerful tool in your life turn against you through neglect. Train your mind like your freedom depends on it, because it does. You must feed your faith more than your fears. Let's get one thing straight. Fear is not the problem. We all feel fear. It's human. The problem is when we feed fear more than we feed our faith. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you starve dies. So if you keep feeding fear with your focus, your energy, your thoughts, your imagination, don't be surprised when it starts running your life. See, fear is a liar. It's a master of exaggeration. It will take a small situation and turn it into a catastrophe in your head. It'll whisper, "What if you fail?" and then shout, "You're not ready." And if you're not careful, you'll sit on your dream for years because you kept feeding a lie. But let me tell you something. Your faith and your fear use the same imagination. Fear imagines what could go wrong. Faith imagines what could go right. Fear sees danger. Faith sees destiny. It's not about ignoring fear, it's about starving it. It's about saying, yeah, I feel the fear, but I'm doing it anyway. Because if you don't move past fear, you'll end up living a life of regret. And that pain, the pain of what could have been, will always be worse than the fear you felt in the moment. Faith isn't blind. Faith is bold. It's the ability to look fear in the face and say, "You're not stronger than my calling. You're not louder than my belief." You don't get to decide how this story ends. Now listen, fear isn't just about being scared. Sometimes it shows up as doubt, as procrastination, as perfectionism, as overthinking. You're not lazy, you're just feeding fear with your focus. You're rehearsing everything that could go wrong instead of visualizing what's possible, and that's where the mental training comes in. Every single day, you've got to choose to feed your faith. How? By what you speak, by what you read, by who you listen to, by what you dwell on. If all you ever hear is negativity, drama, and limitations, how do you expect to feel confident? You've got to change your mental diet. Feed your mind truth, feed it power, feed it vision. Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" say, "What if I fly?" Instead of asking, "What if it all goes wrong?" ask, "What if this is exactly what I was born for?" You've got to feed your mind images of success, words of strength, visions of possibility, because faith comes by hearing, and so does fear. Think about a fire. Whatever you throw into it, it consumes. You want the fire of your faith to burn bright. You better start feeding it with belief, action, and daily reinforcement, because if you don't feed it, it'll go out. Simple as that. And you don't feed it once and forget about it. You feed it daily. Why? Because fear shows up daily. It knocks every morning. It lurks in every challenge. And every time you choose faith over fear, you get stronger, you get braver, you become more unstoppable. Let me ask you this. Are you feeding the voice of fear that says you're not enough, or the voice of faith that says you were born for this? Are you feeding the fear that keeps you hiding, or the faith that calls you to rise? Because your future doesn't need more fear. It needs more faith-filled action. Don't let fear rob you another day. Don't let it talk you out of your dream, your purpose, your power. You've got something special inside you, but it will never come alive if you keep starving your belief and feeding your doubt. So make the choice, feed your faith, starve your fear, and watch your life transform. What you focus on expands. Guard your attention fiercely. Take the time. Win the war within. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's this. Your mind is the battleground. Every dream, every decision. Every breakthrough, it all begins and ends in the mind, not in the world, not in the economy, not in what they said about you, but in the conversations you have with yourself when nobody's looking. That's where the war is won or lost. You've been given something powerful, the ability to choose your thoughts, to renew your beliefs, to upgrade your mental software and rewrite your destiny. But you can't leave that to chance. You've got to take the time to train your mind, because here's the truth. If you don't train your mind, the world will, and the world will train it for fear, for limitation, for survival, not greatness, for small thinking, not legacy building. You weren't born to just get by. You weren't born to repeat cycles. You weren't born to live trapped by what happened to you. You were born to break through. You were born to rise. You were born to be the example someone else is praying to see. But that begins with discipline, with ownership, with telling yourself, I will no longer allow my mind to be an open playground for fear, comparison, regret, or doubt. From this moment forward, I will train my mind like a warrior trains their body with focus, with fire, with commitment. Because the mind is a muscle, and the more you challenge it, the more it changes. The more you strengthen it, the more unstoppable you become. It's time to protect your peace like it's sacred. It's time to focus like your future depends on it, because it does. It's time to speak life to yourself even when it hurts. It's time to feed your faith, fuel your vision, and silence every lie that's ever told you you're not enough. Every time you meditate, read, reflect, journal, speak life, say no to chaos. Guard your focus. You are training your mind. You are building resilience. You are building legacy. You are planting seeds your future self will thank you for. So don't wait. Don't hope for peace. Create it. Don't wish for strength. Build it. Take the time. Train the mind. Win the war within. And step boldly into the life you were born to live. The world has heard enough excuses. Now it's time to hear your voice, your power, your greatness. Let's go. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and whatever gets your attention gets your power. We live in a world where distractions are louder than dreams. Notifications, negativity, comparison, and noise, they fight for your focus every single day. And if you don't get intentional, if you don't guard your mind like a fortress, you will waste your energy chasing shadows while your purpose sits in silence. Listen closely. Your life is a mirror of your focus. If you focus on problems, you will see more problems. If you focus on opportunities, you will see more possibilities. If you constantly stare at the pain, you'll miss the purpose growing behind it. Whatever you magnify in your mind multiplies in your life. You can take two people, give them the same struggle, the same setback, the same situation, and one will break, while the other will break through. The difference isn't the struggle. The difference is what they focused on in the middle of it. You've got to train your focus. You've got to take ownership of what you give mental real estate to. Every time you dwell on negativity, every time you obsess over what's missing, every time you relive the past, you are handing over your power. Let me say this, you don't have time to entertain every distraction. You don't have space in your spirit to babysit fear. You don't have the energy to focus on what's wrong when you've got something right inside of you trying to grow. See, the mind is like a camera. It can't capture everything, so it zooms in on what you direct it toward. And if all you ever do is zoom in on what's not working, what's going wrong, or who hurt you, you'll miss the blessing, the lesson, and the open door that's trying to show up in your life. Guard your attention like your future depends on it, because it does. Don't give your focus to gossip. Don't give your focus to fear-based media. Don't give your focus to haters, critics, or comparisons. Instead, give your focus to growth, to purpose, to faith, to action, because what you focus on expands. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's repeatedly imagined. That means if you constantly focus on failure, your mind will prepare to fail. If you focus on success even before you see it, your mind starts programming for victory. That's why vision boards work. That's why visualization works. That's why rehearsing your goals daily is a form of mental warfare. You are saying, I refuse to let my attention drift. I choose to focus forward. Now let's get real. Life will test your focus. The bills will pile up. The setbacks will hit. The critics will talk. And everything inside of you will want to spiral into stress. But this is where mental training separates the average from the unstoppable. You don't just hope for focus, you build it. Start small. Start where you are. Take 10 minutes in the morning before the world grabs your attention. Feed your mind something empowering. Set your intentions. Write down your goals. Claim your focus before the world claims it for you. And when distractions come, because they will, don't let them own you. You've got to say, that's not where I'm going. That's not worth my peace. That's not aligned with my calling. Redirect your focus with strength every single day, because here's the truth. Whatever gets your attention shapes your direction. And you cannot afford to drift when you've got something this powerful living inside of you. So guard it, protect it, fight it. Turn down the volume of the world and turn up the volume on your vision. Because when you master your focus, you become unshakable.